Raider Nation, the Las Vegas Raiders front office has been absolutely cooking. They just made a serious move behind the scenes that a lot of people aren't talking about, but they've hired Brandon Hunt as their new VP of player personnel, and I'm fired up. I don't know about you guys, man, but this feels like a new era for the Raiders. We've been making some strategic moves behind the scenes, and hiring Brandon Hunt is a big deal. Now, Brandon Hunt, he's a seasoned NFL executive with over 2 decades of experience in both player personnel and scouting. And people that know me know that, there's a few teams in the NFL, a few organizations that I just have a lot of respect for. And I love how they build their teams. And I just kind of like how, their organizations are ran. And 2 of those teams are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And ironically, Brandon Hunt has played a key piece in both of these organizations and actually helped both of them win a Super Bowl. So I think that's pretty awesome when you think about that. But, let's just take a quick look at just his NFL career and just kind of like his just a quick overview of what he's done. So he came into the league, in 2005 and 6, and he started off as a scouting intern for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He hit the ground running to the point where he got a pro scout, offer, from the Houston Texans in 2009. And he held that position, from 2007 to 2009. And he held that position up until the Steelers said, hey, we want to make him the pro scouting coordinator. So in 2009, all the way to 2022, he was a pro scouting coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, the Steelers are one of those organizations that always make some of the best player personnel moves. They know when to get rid of players. They know when to extend them. They know when to cut them. A lot of times they get the better end of any kind of trades they have with other teams. The Steelers, to me, they really do things the right way. So I always respect kind of how they build a team. That's why they consistently go to the playoffs. That's why they consistently are having winning seasons. I just like how that organization kind of runs their organization. I hate the Steelers just because, I feel they're a rival to me because I live in the Midwest. And plus I can't stand Steeler fans, but that's besides the point. So in 2022, he actually got promoted by the Philadelphia Eagles. He became the senior director of scouting. And when I tell you, just his time with the Eagles, I mean, he hit home run after home run after home run. I mean, that Eagles team got significantly better, during his tenure there. So, I mean, and then from there, we hired him as our VP of player personnel, which I'm excited about. And he was a Super Bowl champion with the Steelers in Super Bowl 40. And then he was a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles in Super Bowl 59. So again, he's very accomplished. He's made teams better when he's been in their front office. That's just the facts. But I do kind of want to focus on what he did with the Eagles. I mean, he really made them better. So let's look at it. Let's look at the impact the impact draft picks that he brought to the table during his years there. Just look at this 2022 draft. He had Jordan Davis. He selected him 13th overall. So Davis became a key component in that Eagles defensive line. As we know, that defensive line is loaded. They're deep. And Jordan Davis was kind of one of the beginning pieces, that they had for that defensive line. He's known for his size and athleticism. Their second round pick that year, they got Cam Jurgens, the center out of Nebraska. So, he was kind of groomed to be the successor for Jason Kelce. So they knew Kelce was getting ready to retire. By last year, Jurgens, he had taken over the starting role for Kelce and earned all pro honors. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you need. And then even that same draft, they got Nakobe Dean in the 3rd round. He had a breakout year last season as a starter. Again, one of the best defenses in the league. He did suffer injury, so going forward, he's going to have to really have an uphill battle just to continue, building off of what he's been doing. But I mean, Nakobe Dean can play ball. There's no doubt about that. And then you look at the 2023 draft, which makes me upset every time I think about it because they got Jalen Carter just landed on their lap. But a lot of teams were afraid of Jalen Carter. I mean, they selected him at 9th overall. He made an immediate impact on that defensive front. He was part of the all rookie team and he was runner up for rookie defensive player of the year. Again, and honestly, probably for the next decade, he's going to be the best defensive tackle in all of football. That's just all there is to it. The dude is a man amongst boys out there. He's a beast. You guys know. Then they also drafted Nolan Smith that draft. Nolan is he added depth and versatility to that linebacker unit. The guy can play. He contributed in both pass rush and coverage situations. So he's a great athlete, very fast, and he brings a lot of versatility to that Eagles defense. He's a type of guy that's in there that gives, the Patrick Mahomes and other passing teams some issues because he can get after the quarterback, but he also can help you in coverage as well. So, that's key, man. That's key. And then what they did in that 2024 draft last year, they needed help on the back end of that defense. What did they do? They got Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo, taken 22nd overall, immediate starter. He was part of the all-rookie team, and he was runner-up AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then they spun the block. They got Cooper DeJean, all-rookie team, finished 4th in the Defensive Rookie of the Year and had a huge pick 6 in the Super Bowl. So again, when we're looking at, what, Hunt was able to do, and again, he's not doing it by himself, but he was a key component in help making decisions and identifying talent to make this Philadelphia Eagles team set for success and long-term sustainable success. Honestly, I would be surprised if they're not in the Super Bowl again this year. That's just the way this team is set up. That's just all there is to it. So when you think about it, like, what does Brandon Hunt bring to the Raiders? What will he bring to the Raiders? I think it's clear, he has a proven knack for finding mid-round gems. And that's something that the Raiders have always had struggle with. A lot of our mid-round or early picks, sometimes they don't even make the team or they become busts early on. They're doing a lot of the work on the front end, making sure they're getting the right guys. These guys are coming in, they're developing, and they're contributing long-term to the team. That's how you build the foundation of a successful team. And he's doing that. And then also, from what I'm hearing, he's not a yes man, in the war room either. He's a guy that's not afraid to push back and challenge the status quo. That's how you get a Jalen Carter when 8 other teams are willing to pass up on him. I mean, sometimes you got to think outside the box. Sometimes you got to take a risk, a calculated risk, and that's what they did. And they have one of the best defensive players in all of pro football. So, and then honestly, just during his time, with the Eagles, he played a key role in just innovating their whole scouting process. They're saying that he's a guy that's real data driven. So, that data driven analysis, but mixed with some of that old school in the trenches football instinct, it's blending beautifully. And again, that's why we're seeing what we're seeing for the Philadelphia Eagles, man. So I'm just real fired up about this, man. I really think we got us one. And plus, he's reconnecting with former Eagles colleague Anthony Patch. So, we're going to see this team finally start building the team the correct way. So Raider Nation, I want you guys to get in the comments. Let me know, how do you feel about this hiring? Let me know. Am I looking too into this? Am I, overly excited? you know, this offseason just feels different to me. You know, I'm not drinking the Raider Kool-Aid, at least as of yet. Like I told you guys that I'm not going to have any unearned optimism. Like the Raiders are going to have to prove it to me before I get super optimistic about this team. But I'm liking what I'm seeing in this front office. So, but make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell notifications so you guys know whenever I got new content. I go live about 3 times a week. And I'm going to start dropping more videos for you guys, man. So, you know, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, salute Shield Squad. Let's go.
We be them Raiders. We be them Raiders. We be them Raiders. Just one beat out.